It is a glorious Friday morning at the time of recording, and I just actually realised it's Friday the 13th, May 2022. Friday the 13th. So, if you're watching this in the morning, then make sure you stay in bed until 12 o'clock and then everything will be okay on Friday the 13th. What we got in the show today is what's happening with the Shanghai lockdown, the Three Gorges Dam. I do have a landslide which happened a couple of days in China, and also the floods have begun as well. Without further ado, let's hop into it. Grab a cup of coffee, a breakfast bar, cereal, a glass of wine, and please share the next 10, 11, 12 minutes with me. Let's do it. Okie dokie, first up today is the levels, and Kutan, Chongqing is at 168.18, and the Three Gorges, both of these levels have gone down at 165.02. But look at the inflow and the outflow. The inflow is 14,000, and the outflow is the highest it's been in 2022 at 21,900, very close to 22,000, which means they are trying to get rid of the water as soon as possible. Whether the sluice gates are open, we really don't know. I would just say that this is just the outflow from the energy being produced. So maybe there is more electricity being produced as well. With that, let's go straight into the weather. Now, I've done something a little bit different with the weather today. Instead of the hand just being by the Three Gorges Dam, I'm sort of doing a circular movement because we're looking at the Yangtze Basin. We're looking at the Yangtze River, of where the water is, where the rain is, how much rain there is in total over the next coming days. So let's just press the button and start it. And again, we start off with the hand by the Three Gorges Dam, and our main concentration is at southern China, and you can see some of the rain that's gone there, and the hand is just going round and around this area, and you can see like the millimeters of rain. There's nothing big in the actual area. There are one or two near Chongqing, which we will be covering a little bit later on, but this is the weather for you. Suddenly on Monday it's quite dry over that area, but towards the southwest of China there we have some rain, and some heavy rain hitting Sichuan, so you can see possibly some videos next week of the floods there. But there's no red storms in China at the moment related to the Three Gorges, but there are some floods, and we're going to do two places of floods, and the first one is in Chongqing. Chongqing is 660 kilometers west of the Three Gorges Dam, and it's a sprawling metropolis of the actual autonomous region of 35 million people. It used to be this really quaint, small city, mountainside city, but it's been turned into a metropolis. It's fascinating to go there because you can ride a mountain through the train system, and the infrastructure is possibly the best in China in the way that they could plan it from a small city, unlike the other cities like Shanghai, for example. But here you can see the weather, and it's a little bit flooded, and again some drains, well, they haven't been done, example, and there's lots of water there. The other reported floods in China are a long way away from Chongqing, and we're going to the southeast of China now, to Guangzhou, to Guangdong province, the province right next to Hong Kong and Macau. And I have shown some videos, some small videos of what's happened before there, but we can have a look here to see some of the rescuers related to the floods, etc. It's the same that happens each year. This is the question I always find amazing. Why is nothing done about it in these big cities, that the drainage system, it just gets clogged up year after year after year, and the government don't do anything about it? And it's sort of like sort of like cultural close enough. Now, in the same area, I repeat, in the same area in Guangdong, there has been, because of this heavy rain, I presume, a landslide. And this was caught on camera. You can look at this. It's in the countryside. I think there was no one injured related to this, but you can see it's sort of like what happens with a volcano. It erupts. And some of the people living there, you can see from the webcam, are just actually running away from it because the dust cloud doesn't seem to settle when it's getting close to their home, etc. So these are what real landslides can be like. Now, I know I do lots of things about China, but landslides are common around the world, especially when you get heavy rain. If you just go into Twitter, for example, type in floods, type in landslides, you can see so many things which happen in the year. Yes, I just concentrate on what's happening in China, but this is a landslide from about 3 or 4 days ago. Alright, so an update related to what's happening with the lockdown and the situation with Omicron and COVID-19 in China. These are pictures in Beijing. This time, I think we're doing mostly Beijing, and you can see this is the queue for the testing. This is the queue for the testing. As always, there's no social distancing, which is needed for it, and it's sort of like this long queue indeed, and these people, I can imagine, are going to be there, you could say, at least half a day just to be tested. The thing is, they have to do this test near enough 3 times a week, and this is the whole crazy thing. If you look at the exchange rate between the American dollar and the Chinese RMB, the Chinese RMB is shooting up. 3 weeks ago, 1 American dollar would be about 6.4, 6.5 RMB, but now it's up to about 6.9. How come if an economy doesn't allow people to work, how come the actual exchange rate between currencies go high? I'm not too sure if this is anything related to the economy in America, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Let's go to another place in Beijing, and just Beijing in general. Look at the road. So this is a road taken about 12 hours before I'm actually recording this video. This is, you can see on the right hand side, the ugly building. This is the CCTV building in Beijing. The Central Television Chinese Network, blah, 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 there. It's called the Underpants because it's really ugly, but the roads are empty. Now, next thing is farmers seem to not be able to plant their crops according to this video here, and even they put monitors in the countryside. Whether this is true or not, I can sort of believe it because it's a kind of thing that the CCP would do that's totally ridiculous. Here's a camera and they're saying you can't plant crops because of COVID-19. And there you can see it's being monitored, and some birdies are actually very happy for a little toy to have a ride on. Next up is this one. Now this is quite interesting. This is again how ridiculous it is in the authorities with this zero tolerance lockdown. These are people in a market and they have got to get their scales COVID tested. They're going to be swapped to see if they got any kind of COVID disease on it. That's beyond ridiculous. Surely if you have a set of scales, and you're in a market, you're going to disinfect them every single time, like they do here. Every single time you would use them. So just spraying some alcohol on it is going to kill, well, hopefully going to kill that. Now, let's leave with a funny bit for today, and I found some more karate, kung fu kind of things with some big white or stormtrooper here related to the, well, he's just dancing really, and is this CCTV states CCP propaganda, or saying don't mess with the COVID police because this is going to happen to you? I don't know, but I find this quite amusing. Have a look at this. Okay, that near enough brings us to a close for today, but do check out my other channel, the Travel and Living in Asia channel. With that, I want to do something called We Travel, and I am going to start it in this country here, where you, the viewer, can tell what myself or my girlfriend want to see in this country. So armchair travel, basically. And here's a small sample of my, you could say, advertisement related to it. Goes like this. A very warm welcome to the channel, Travel and Living in Asia. Now, yesterday I sort of gave you an outline of what I'd like to do in the future, once we're allowed to travel again, and mainly in Southeast Asia. Now, what I want to do in the meantime is actually show you some videos of here, Siem Reap, Cambodia, surrounding areas. So what I would like you to do is to tell me what you want to see. For example, go to Google, type in Siem Reap and see, and then leave me a message in the comment form below. Say, we would love to see this. And then with my GoPro or soapy girlfriend, we can go and show you this restaurant, this bar, this night area, this temple, etc., etc., all in the local area. So this is We Travel for you. That it's armchair travel. Tell me, tell us what you want to do. Now, the main reason is that we want to show Southeast Asia in our eyes, in someone who lives here, not as a traveller, of someone who lives here. So maybe in the future you can actually go to this country, for example, or to Thailand or Malaysia or Singapore or Indonesia or Vietnam or Laos or Burma, whatever, in Southeast Asia, so you can see. But this is what we want to do. So tell me in the comment form in Siem Reap, Cambodia, what you would like to see. And if it's feasible and possible, we will do it for you. This is We Travel in Living and Working. No, I don't work. Well, what do we call it now? Travel and Living in Southeast Asia. My name is James. Thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye. As always, thank you very much for your time, something I can never give back to you on Friday the 13th of May 2022. So far my day is going quite clear. A like, subscribe is absolutely fantastic, or as I used to say in the old days, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious for the people who are still here. I will see you tomorrow on Saturday the 14th of May. Have a most excellent day and be safe, especially on Friday the 13th.
Gorges.
Bye bye.